I literally saw the headline grab me probably 30 hours after after the deadline for the government to shut down was when I saw the very first article about those relying on government paycheck struggling to make it. And it's like, well, wait a minute, this hasn't gone into effect long enough for them to have even missed a paycheck yet. So if this is all true, I think there's an underlying problem to this particular family situation. But anyway, so yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this a little bit.
Well, let's talk about that. And one of the things that I was wondering is, when the government shuts down, what effect does this have on the home mortgage market? Does it affect, hey, if rates are moving and things of that nature?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a funny question to answer, actually, only given how long I've been around. Because again, you look at these headlines, and I see some. And I've read a couple of articles about, related to the mortgage industry and what does it mean and what kind of effect there's going to be. And it's interesting because even now, in 2025, some of those comments, those opinions that are out there are almost like describing an industry from when I first got in the business, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw one where they talked about processing delay. I wrote it down, processing delays. And it specifically referred to the government insured or guaranteed loan products like FHA, VA, USDA. So it perpetuates this perception that if you're getting an FHA, VA, USDA loan, because those are federally guaranteed, insured, however that's done, and they differ from product to product. But given that the government's involved, this perpetuates the perception that means it's going to take longer to get the loan and there's more hoops to jump through. And by and large, a lot of that simply is not true anymore. Now, I say I can relate to this because, 40 plus years ago when I got in the business, many FHA loans as well as VA loans weren't underwritten and approved at the local lender level.
Mm.
Many lenders, like the company I started with out of college, a mortgage banking firm, oftentimes we had to submit the file, the loan file, to FHA to be underwritten.
Oh, wow.
To the Department of Veteran Affairs, or the VA, as we called it back then, to be underwritten. It wasn't, as much in the lender's hands as it has been now for several decades, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So the notion that this government shutdown has affected the processing of new applications, people are just open escrow to purchase a home. That's really not happened. The front end of the process, the origination side of the business, which is what we're in directly, that's what we specialize in, that initial customer contact, origination step. That's where we're at. And in that part of this business, it really hasn't been affected at all. Part of these articles too talked about reduced staff. Well, again, the lenders we're delivering loans to are trying to hire staff because business has gotten a little bit better, but that's a different issue. It's not because they cut people off, laid them off, they're on furlough because of the shutdown.